Geek guys, what is a happening?
What's going on?
How we
What's going
doing?
on? Doing well. Mike Zano,
Okay.
Matt Forbes, how you fellas
Scott
doing?
Bossman.
It's
We
it's an
always need to do a mic check at the beginning because Scott likes to drown us out. He likes to drown out us East Coast guys.
yeah.
You're very loud today, though, Mike. You sound great.
Yeah, we would like
That's because I've been recording TikTok videos.
yes. We would like some feedback from the audience as they roll in. How is our sound this evening? Typically I'm a little loud and I drown out the boys, so we don't want that. But yeah, fellas, what's going on? So we got people rolling in here. We should take a minute to welcome anyone to the show who has not seen us before.
Could be their first time.
Could be their first time watching Nightcap with the Land Geek guys. So, Matt
Painful.
Forbes, you haven't done this in a while.
No,
For
not
the
me.
audience, let's do the 30-second fast. 30 seconds or
Oh.
less, Matt Forbes. Why are we
Oh,
here?
I love it.
What is our function? Why are we here? What are we doing at 10 o'clock
What do you-
Eastern? It's so late. Wah wah.
So-
I
what
can't
do you-
drink
what
it
is
so
it you
late.
do here? I never know what she's doing. What do we
Matt,
do?
you do 10 seconds. I know you can.
We are land investors. So if you're new to the channel, we buy and sell raw land. It's a great little side hustle, turn full-time job for some of these yokels. It's a great way to create passive income. And so here we are. Going to teach you how to do it
I love it.
and or answer
I love it.
questions.
You know what?
Or
I'm going to
not.
drink to that. Watch out. I'm getting some whiskey. I'm drinking to that.
Oh, whiskey sounds so good.
Oh yeah, my bourbon is really yummy tonight, Forbes. I thought of you the other night actually because I had an old fashioned in a bottle.
Oh,
It wasn't
nice.
Bully Boy. It was crap. I'm blanking right now. I'll get
What are
it.
you drinking there, Sarah?
Yeah, well, the problem I'm having is remember that whole saying, liquor before beer in the clear, beer before liquor, get
Never sicker.
quicker. I already had some beer, but you know what? Nightcap will keep me safe.
You wanna hold that bottle up? I'd like to know what that is.
Oh, this is, I don't know. It's I think my son got this for me.
Lafrague.
That's a nice bottle. That's a good deal.
Yeah.
That's a nice
So
bottle right there. That's kind of some of my favorite stuff. You're gonna be very chatty in about 40 minutes, I think.
By the way, you know, I have another friend at the fire department that's doing a little anniversary now. My buddy Keith, he might be watching, so I'm going to give him a little cheers because he's a fellow whiskey lover.
What's up, Keith?
What's up, Keith? That's awesome.
Like
That's
that.
exciting stuff. We got some other people here. Scott Lanford is here. How are you, Scott? John, I'm going to say Ziki with a silent D. So, Zano, you say it. We'll see. John will let us know if we're right. DZIKI.
Well, spell it again.
DZIKI.
Ziki.
I think it's Ziki too.
Right.
Sound right for us?
Scott Lanford actually called me Dr. Zano today for my land advice. I thought that was pretty funny. It's okay,
Ooh.
Scott, and brag. So like Dr. Zano, paging Dr. Zano to the land room. Paging Dr. Zano to the land room.
Oh my God. Don Rafael is here. Don, how are you? He's drinking Natty Light number 4.
Oh,
Don?
Light. Let's
Is
go
that
back.
Don, what are you in?
Or it's his fourth one? I'm confused.
Don, what are you in? Are you in grad school? Because that's reminds me of grad school days.
Natty Light Ice. Let's go.
The guy with the bottle sound is off. That's you, Zano. Yes, Zano, you are a little jumpy over there, so I don't know what's going on.
Uh-oh. Matt said I sounded good. Now I'm jumpy.
No, you're definitely jumpy. I'm not sure that's the right word, but
test.
Yeah,
test.
It's not just your sound either.
Oh.
Rodney Haley's here. Rodney, how are you? Brent Cokie? Cook?
Does this sound better?
No. Brent says, "Let's make some money." Brent, I love it.
Go.
Let's see if we can make some money this show. Let's see if anybody on the call can get a doc fee during the show.
Oh.
or how
It's
else
too late.
can we make money this show?
I thought we were gonna say if you,
All right.
if you sold
Can I get a
zero.
sound check? I want to mention something, but I got to make sure I don't sound off. Am I better?
You're a little jumpy, and your video is actually a little laggy. So I don't. You might have a bad connection, Mike.
Oh, no. This is crazy.
Oh no!
Oh no! Facebook
Yay.
user, I gotta log on to Facebook to see who you are. He says, "Don't let the emotion get in the way of the jumpy."
I like that.
I'm just,
Uh,
how about I log off and log back on?
all right.
Okay.
Well, you might need to maybe shut some programs
Well,
down or restart the router or something.
will I see live if I do that?
No, you
I
go
think
ahead.
the gain is turned way up on yours, and so it's dropping down to mitigate it.
Oh,
That's
maybe
my
that-
own guess.
There we go. I just dropped my gain down. How's that?
No, it's fine.
That better?
No,
jumpy.
you're still. Yeah. Log out, log in. Come back to us.
So anyway, those of you watching, we're here to talk land investing. So if you have questions, let's talk. If you have had deals this week, we want to know the
Deals.
numbers.
Let's go.
We
Come
want to
on,
hear the
baby.
numbers.
I got some deals.
I got some deals too. Let's see. I think I was just looking today. 10 deals in September.
Whoa,
It's all right.
sexy. That's sexy. What are you talking about?
It's an all right month. A couple
over
big
two-
cash
2
deals. You know those cash deals, Forbes. They move the needle, dude.
I had two. I had two of my little scrub properties that I buy for 1,000 or 1,100. Sold two for $3K each.
That's amazing.
Like-
That's awesome.
And I'm like, all right. I'm like, Anne's like, do you want to? And I'm like, no, but I guess I'll take $6,000. So yes, but no, I want the passive. But yeah, you give me the $6,000. It's what?
Yeah, exactly.
Hand it over. And she's bought a bunch of property from me. That's a big time repeat buyer for us, and that's why I said yes. Otherwise, I would have said no.
I had a repeat buyer today as well, which was awesome. But yeah, Mark talks about the best passive income model, and I really do believe that's true. But what people need to realize is that 25% of our deals are cash deals, and
Yeah.
those things they move the needle for sure. So
Yeah, they're big. I didn't get them when I first started. It's only been the last year or two where I've gotten a bunch. But yeah, I oddly, ever since I incentivized my my land salesperson by giving her 10% of my cash deals, I got a lot more cash deals.
oh, oddly,
Hello. Hello. It's crazy. I can't believe that.
yeah,
So,
discounted cash deals. No, that's awesome. That's great.
that's good.
The property I sold today, Forbes, this is crazy, honestly. I was looking at it today. I bought this property in 2017.
That's a long time ago.
Do you know how many times I've sold this property?
4.
Today is number 6.
No way.
I've sold this property 6 times. I don't know what it is. It's a beautiful property. It's got trees. It's got power.
Is it that crap in Florida you tried to sell me?
No.
Okay.
But I don't even know what my cost basis is on this property anymore.
There is no cost basis. It's free. It's been paid for years.
Well, it's negative, right? But I should sit down one day and
You
see.
can't have a negative cost basis.
Well, you know what I mean.
Calculation doesn't work. Yeah. No, it's awesome. I mean, that happens.
And
that's amazing.
And part of me feels like, I don't know, part of me feels a little bit bad about it. But
why?
I don't know. I just 6 people I've sold to. But then I don't know, for whatever reason. It's I don't know. But I always say, come back later, we'll give you a credit. Customer service, right?
Yeah, there's definitely something about this business where you have to sort of go like, huh. And you have that moment where you go, wait, am I taking advantage of somebody? What's the deal? And the reality is you're not at all.
No, you're not.
If somebody wants to go buy that, I mean, what did you do? Stick a gun to their head? they wanted to go buy it, they bought it. You're at least nice enough to let them out of the contract when they decide they want to default.
Yeah, exactly.
You've been super nice apparently 5 freaking times with this property, but no, I don't feel bad at all.
No, I don't.
You know,
Maybe I don't think bad is the right word. I don't know what it is. Maybe just a sheepish. I don't know. I don't know what the word is.
well, just because you're making so much money, but I mean, what are you gonna do? Give it to the next person because
Right, exactly.
other people defaulted? I mean, come on.
Don Rafael says it's on an Indian burial ground. I don't think so. I don't think anything's wrong with the land. I think I would have heard by now if something was, you know, I don't know.
Poltergeist.
John's got a tax question. Ooh, good times.
All right. Oh, we got to. All right, we'll get to Don's question here in a second.
Okay.
It's only been 6 months. Y'all got to see it coming by now. If a comment is stupid, it's James Simmons. James Simmons. It's Matt Forbes. It's your spirit animal.
I love James Simmons.
Your aminal.
Nice.
James Simmons. Let's see. Joel Peterson is here. Just started flight school last night. It was awesome. And I've been working on the homework all day. Nightcap is his break for the night. So, Mike, do you remember we talked to Joel yesterday and he was feeling a little bit lost in the weeds? And
Right.
we're like, just wait till tonight. So
Right.
hopefully, Joel, you had a little bit of clarity on county research last night. And hopefully it was a good session for you. Sounds like it was. Greg Mushin, 6 times a charm. Berserk, generally, what percent of a cut would you take from your listed value with a cash deal? So I think he's asking, are you asking if we have a cash value listed, what percent cut, like a discount, would we honor?
I think that's the question.
So let's answer it that way, and if that's not it, we'll come back to it. But Zeno, if you list a property for $5,000 cash and a buyer contacts you and says, "I'll give you 4,000,"
You need 5,000 on terms.
I'm just saying if you're marketing it for 5,000 cash, and a buyer approaches you and says, "Hey, I'll offer you this much," what's your philosophy on that?
Philosophy is if we're making money, we're going to sell it. We're not going to be attached to it. I think the other question was basically, is the cash price lower than the terms price? And typically we do have a slightly lower price if you're going to pay cash listed on our site. But we're not going to get greedy. If it's a good deal, we're going to turn the deal and keep going. It's not about one deal.
Yeah, I think Mark talks about 300% returns, right? 300 to 1,000% returns. But as Mark and Scott always say, are you gonna feel bad if you get a 200%? If you double your money, is that a bad day?
No,
not a bad day.
Like I just did some wholesale. I think 4 properties. I didn't even double my money each property, but it's 4 properties. Ended up being some good money there. I don't care. I buy land all the time. If I'm making money, it's good. Plus, as a wholesale, you want the guy to make money so he'll come back and buy more. And the price will go up. No, just kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, Zano. John Zeke, tax implications of taking cash. I assume capital gains if time applies. If you have to take back property and then sell for cash as a capital gain. So Scott Todd covers this in his Accounting for Land Investors course. Vacant land is exempt from capital gains, I believe. So that's not tax advice, but.
Yeah, we can't give tax advice or legal advice, but we can sure drink and make up things.
Eric Dempsey has some leads for land parcels in New York. So far, I have an interview sheet with basic questions. Is the name, what names are on the deed? What are the taxes? What's the access like, etc. He's gonna look at comps. Wondering where I can get a purchase agreement contract. So Eric, I believe you I believe you have the toolkit or flight school. I think you've been through flight school. And the purchase, correct, Eric? You've been through flight school? Or the toolkit? Let me know that. And some further points on due diligence. So,
Yeah.
so Michael, talk real quick, just a little bit about due diligence. So Eric's in the process, right, of determining
Right.
whether or not this is a good deal for him. So, what are some of the things he needs to look at to be confident that he can move forward in this?
Yeah. So aside from the obvious of, are you talking to the person who actually can convey title to you? Which isn't always so obvious, right? Because it could be somebody who believes they have the capability to transfer title to you, but in fact, they do not. It could be a nephew, a son, whatever. So first, make sure that's good. Then taxes, use of the property. But thing is, listen to the whiskey pour. Is what's the what's the market value of the property, and what are you paying for it? The other thing is, I don't know if he has happened upon these or this is an area he was mailing. We typically strive to mail one specific area at a time because a lot of this due diligence is done in the county research phase. So if you're mailing the subdivision with hundreds or thousands of properties prior to mailing, you're looking at things such as what's the use of the properties here? What's the market value? What's the yearly taxes look like? How's the county work if someone's late on taxes? Is it tax lien, tax deed? I mean, you're doing these things as sort of a prepping to mail. So if you do all that, then it really comes down to, hey, who are you? Do you have the ability to convey title? And what's the tax burden? The rest you already would know.
Yeah, for sure. And there's some state specific things too that so I believe in New York, because believe it or not, I've done one deal in New York. It was kind of a logistical nightmare. Um, there are some things you're going to want to check with the county recorder office to see exactly what you need when you record a deed. You're going to want to check the cross your T's and dot your I's with how many, because I believe there are some state taxes you need to pay if you do a deal in New York. Well, that's on the sell side, but anyway, so it's just kind of an interesting. It's not our typical land investing state, and I kind of found that out the hard way back in the day. So I've stayed away ever since. But Eric, hopefully that helps. He is not a toolkit or a flight school student, so I
What?
guess, yeah. What exactly?
Who is this?
Eric
Who is this?
Dubsey. Let's have a call.
Eric, don't you know the best education, best investment, I'm sorry, is in yourself? Listen, you want to crush this business, talk to us. You can still get a long way on your own if you really pay attention and you put the hard work in. But why not shortcut it? Give us a call.
I'm stuck on the tax thing.
What tax thing?
Oh, we
the
haven't got
capital
that
gains?
question yet?
Yeah.
Okay, what are you stuck on?
So you know how much I suck at taxes, so I don't do it. I pay someone to do it. But I'll have to go back in and look last year because I thought you did pay capital gains
On vacant land?
So I'll have to go look.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought you did pay capital gains. So
we're going to defer everybody to Scott Todd's accounting for land investors class.
Well, there's an exemption if it's adjacent to your house, but we wouldn't qualify for that. But there's other exemptions I don't know about. I took Scott Todd's course, and then immediately, actually halfway through it, deferred everything to someone else. I was like, I'm out. I'm not doing this. This is terrible. So I'm gonna go investigate that because I want to know. That's interesting.
All right, you let us know what you find out.
I will.
If it's different than what I said. Jeremy Peer, great tip, Mike. Don't be attached to the property. Move it and increase the velocity of money. Jeremy, that's exactly right.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a great. What's the word I'm looking for? Cliff Notes version of what Mike Zano said. You guys remember Cliff Notes?
Yeah. You don't need those anymore. You just need a computer. Is Wikipedia the Cliff Notes now of the?
I think Cliff Notes still has a really great website actually, but it's all free now. But I remember I remember when I was in college, you go into the bookstore and you could buy the Cliff Notes version of the Odyssey and
Yeah.
all this stuff. And I was telling my boys about Cliff Notes recently, and they're like, "What are you talking about, Dad?" I'm like, "Well, you have to remember this was pre-interweb days,
What
right?
about going to the library and pulling out the
The card
long
catalog,
drawer and flipping through looking for your book?
the COD catalog."
God catalog.
Yeah. I had my teachers at my high school sat me down the first day, and they were like, "We know you all buy the Cliff Notes, so let's be clear. There will not ever be a single question on the test that can be answered by you reading the Cliff Notes. So when you read the book, read the Cliff Notes first, and then read the book, and then you're gonna have to learn all the other stuff." I'm like, crap. Fine. But that's what I would do. I would read the Cliff Notes and then I would read the book.
I bet you really
Awful.
retained that well, though, because
Well, it kind of helped you guide, the book. I mean, this is like, I was not a very good student. Let's be clear. I was
let's
not
be clear.
Mr. Let's be clear. I'm not in the cum laude society for sure.
Magna cum laude. Let's see here.
Yes.
Craig Van Tine. Matt Forbes, what is the average deal size you deal with?
I deal with sort of like two. I work in a couple areas where stuff's pretty cheap, and I buy them for like 1,000 to 2,500, 3,000, kind of like a lower end. And I generally are selling those for 125 to 175 a month for however long. I don't even know, like forever. Um, and then for whatever 72 months or 80 months or whatever the number ends up being. I can go look in Airtable if we really want the answer. But then the other ones I do are like, I'm buying for 5 or 6 or 7 and I'm selling for 18 to 28,000, and I'm selling for 250, 275 a month for literally forever, for 12 years, to keep that monthly payment reasonable, with like a $500 down payment. So I really like the second ones because you make way more money. They're and they you're gonna I have notes that go into 2030, which is just awesome, right? Even if I
Crazy,
shut
man.
it down today, I'd make money forever. So those are the ones. I will say my average note size is about $170 a month, $180 a month, somewhere in there. But
That's about
I
what
can
my
look.
average note size is as well.
Yeah,
About $175 a month.
yeah, yeah. It's pretty
So,
common,
yeah.
right? I like the bigger ones, but they're harder. They take longer to sell. But they're a different class of buyer, right? Like I don't get a lot of people default or who give the land back in those bigger properties. The cheaper ones are like $100 a month or 125 a month. That's where I see a lot of riffraff. And it's like, okay, great, yeah. So you can buy it for whatever 6 months and then give it back if you want, and we'll go sell it to someone else. Apparently, 6 separate times on
Yeah.
the same piece of land.
They-
Laws, man.
6 times. 6 times on the same property. It's insane.
It happens. Yeah.
Dan Foley's here. Of course, we can rely on Dan. Land is ordinary income if you are a dealer. So your accountant talk. Everybody. The bottom line is talk to an accountant. And
Thank you,
when
Dan.
you're in this business, you need to be treated as a dealer. And then it's ordinary income. Thank
Yeah.
you, Dan, for.
It's the like right in the where the sun don't shine is what it is. But it's okay because
It's usually a
a lot of
bad
money.
thing where the sun don't
Well,
shine.
it's funny because when I first started doing this and I would explain it to people, they're like, "Oh, well, that's you're going to pay a lot in taxes," and I'm like, "That's right, that's correct. I'm going to pay a lot in taxes, which means I'm going to probably keep a lot of money too. Certainly, way more than I'm going to do in my regular job. Where, by the way, I pay so much money. I looked at my paycheck today. So many tens of thousands of dollars go to the federal government. Same thing, right? So as a side hustle, I mean, I hate to say this because it's so painful, but the more taxes I pay, the more money I make. So I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah. long as you're, what's good is if you're using something like a profit first, so you have, when that tax time comes, at least you have a percentage that you've already allocated. It's not a big surprise.
Yeah, I just bought a bunch of property with that account.
I love it.
So
Forbes.
Land
You're
therapy.
funny. You're supposed to put it in a
Forbes.
different bank account that's untouchable, Forbes. Leave the tax
I mean,
account alone.
it was just there, and the deal was
I
there.
feel like it's Vegas. I just took it out because the money I'm going to make on that is going to
It's
true.
more than pay the taxes for the next couple of years.
It's true.
Right. Thank you.
It's
So
going to pay the taxes for the next 3 years. The money I'm going to roll.
You'll
that
be
into.
fine.
my account was like, so are you paying your quarterly taxes? And I'm like, 100%. I'm not. For sure that I'm not doing that the right way. And he's
But
like,
I
well,
did buy this great land.
Well, here's what he said. I'm like, all right, so okay. So not that this is a show on taxes, because I don't know anything about taxes, literally nothing. So do not listen to anything that I say for sure. Right. But he goes, so he's like, so you're gonna pay him on time? And I'm like, I always pay him on time. He's like, well, I have this one customer who does what you do, and he pays him late, and then eventually the IRS goes after him, and then they have a thing, and then he agrees to pay, and there's a penalty. He's like, but the penalty is like a very, very small amount of interest, and it's basically a loan from the government, is how he looks at it. I'm like, that seems like dangerous territory, and I definitely don't want to be there. But
Sounds like a Steven Seagal movie, Dangerous Territory.
well,
Matt Forbes.
here's a funny story that's
You gonna
nothing to do
pop
with
out
land.
of the birthday cake?
Yeah, that's a good movie. My buddy sold a company for like $3 million and didn't pay any of the tax. The IRS came, like, they were going to seize his house and everything. And he had his lawyer go, and they negotiated some crazy settlement that was 25 cents on the dollar that he then agreed to pay over 30 years. And I'm like, you're a scumbag. I'm like, you're that guy. I can't believe I like you. You're that guy. And he's like, yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm that guy, except I got a $700,000 loan paid over 30 years to the federal government for like $299 a month or whatever the numbers worked out to be. He's like, so who's the idiot? I'm like, not you. I am, for thinking that was a bad idea before you told me that. I'm like, wow. So I know nothing about taxes.
I feel like that was a scene from Moneyball.
It was a crazy story, but it's true. This guy's a baller. I'm like, okay.
No, I mean,
So
you presenting it was like a scene from Moneyball.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Sorry. A little tangent there.
No, it was good. It was good.
I
love it. I love when Matt goes on the little. This is kind of like when we had the anniversary, and
he's
Andy
not
did
as
drink.
loud.
He
He's
wore his
definitely not
hat
as
backwards,
loud.
and he went on a rampage.
Do you guys know that
I was off.
I happened to stumble upon, because I'm repurposing content for TikTok. By the way, all of you out there, we are now on TikTok at
we're not.
LandGeek Guys. At LandGeek
No.
Guys. Follow us on
And
TikTok. My
we've added
son,
two followers. Two
Not to our
followers have
knowledge.
added us.
my son bets me that we cannot have 1,000 followers by Christmas, and I'm not sure what the bet is yet. I need to determine that with him, but we're gonna have 1,000 followers by Christmas. So at LandGeek
we have
Guys,
93 following now.
that's not bad. It's not
Wow.
bad. It's
Yeah,
been only
we have some cool videos and content on there. That one's almost got 100 views from today, Scott.
Sounds terrible.
yeah, nice. Good work,
We're
dude.
cranking.
Tomorrow morning we'll have 400.
It's how to build a list in under 4 minutes.
Yeah, how to build a list. Matt Forbes.
Bye.
Matt
Doing
Forbes,
the
did you
trap.
know that you're on a TikTok video that's gotten over 1,300 views?
I don't think I want to know that. No.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not
I
on
didn't.
the TikTok.
I didn't even ask for your permission. I don't care.
I know. Wait till the lawsuit comes through. Can't wait.
Right? Yeah, I believe it.
Take both your notes.
I can't remember what my point was. I had a point, and I
No one
lost
does.
it. Oh, I was excited because we have 32 viewers, which is pretty good.
Might be an
Pretty
all-time
good.
high.
So
Wow.
no, it's not an all-time
Yeah.
high, but that should give us
More.
points of
Don Zeke,
points
one
for
more
live
follower on
discussion.
TalkTech.
Oh,
Nice.
really? Nice.
All
There
right,
it
John.
is.
John, you may not know this, but a little land angel just got his wings. Aw.
John, just because you
Uh,
did that, you look at that video that I just loaded, you and message me. We'll give you the long form version of that video. That's
nice.
your prize for
So
tonight.
long
You
form.
guys do you guys do the land geek dance for TikTok? Jeremy, let me stop you right there. No, not unless we're all together wearing sweatsitos. Then maybe.
By the way, I think next week we could probably bring back the sweatsitos. It's cold enough now.
It's
Yeah,
hot.
it is.
No, we're having an Indian summer here in Wisconsin. It's like 80 degrees. My air's on right now. Here's what
Fair.
I meant to bring up a minute ago. I stumbled across the anniversary episode, and I could only stomach about 30 seconds of it because three guys were so sloshed it wasn't even watchable.
Oh my God. Was it
It was
that bad?
it was not good. And the sound,
Oh,
Matt Forbes, God bless you and all of your AV prowess, but things were not good AV wise.
Was that prior to that was just prior to the big pizza party we had.
Yeah,
we ordered pizza at 1 a.m. after that show. It was
and it was
exhausting.
after the 10-hour party we had already had. So yeah, it was it's very interesting. So if you guys want
go
some,
back and why don't you make little TikToks out of that?
I think I may.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly. Sweatcito.
I heard him say
land.
land somewhere in that.
We just
We
lost.
were so proud of ourselves too. We were so proud.
Questions?
We just
Questions,
lost
send me
6
some
viewers.
Man, we'll
Question
bring 'em
from
back.
question from Brent Koke. Coke. How many properties do you keep available for sale? How many properties in your
As many as
inventory?
possible. As many as possible. But right now, I don't know.
Talk to me.
I don't know. 30.
Yeah. I don't have 30 right now, but if I could have any number, I would have at least 20.
If I could have any number, I'd have 500.
Right. The thing is that
More.
the whole business gets substantially easier when someone calls your salesperson and says, "I'm looking for X, Y, and Z," and you have more than 2 types of property to say, "Well, it's not either of these 2, but it could be one of these 3 over here. Check these out." Like your sales just start getting easier when you have more variety,
Depth.
and when you have depth. Thank you. Exactly. When you know a market and you've got 6 just like them and you're advertising one and then that sells, you have another one right there waiting for you. And then you sell that one, there's still 4 more, and then you're buying one and you're up to 5 and you sell 2 and you're down to 3 and you buy 1 more. And because you have 9 gajillion ads in the universe for that one piece of
I
property,
love it.
getting the calls.
I love it. You just so accurately described it. That was beautiful. That's
What's going on TikTok?
TikTokable.
Oh God, I gotta get off this show. I may not come back.
Repurposing.
I may not come back next week.
That's gonna go
Oh,
viral on
that-
TikTok.
Not-
Thank you, Matt
It's not
Forbes.
worth what you guys pay me to be. It can't be.
That reminds me, we do need to take a poll of the audience. 10 p.m. Eastern or 9 p.m. Eastern. We got some boys
Or
out
8.
east.
Or 8.
Or yeah,
8 o'clock Eastern.
This could be a heavily Eastern-based crowd that we don't even know. We want.
yeah. We should just try it. I mean, what if 8 people showed up instead of 7?
I mean, it's not nightcap It's not nightcap anymore if it's at 4 in the afternoon, boys. Come on.
Listen, I don't know about you, Bosman, but I like day drinking. I'm a pro at it, damn it. And then I go to bed and I can function the next day. So I'm a fan. All right.
All right,
I will
well-
get up, I will drink and go to bed by 7. That's my jam. That's my
doable.
happy place.
We got multiple people chiming in saying 10 p.m. Eastern. So I don't know what to tell you other than
All right, maybe we got a Pacific Standard Time crowd.
other than suck it up and whatever.
Well, Keith
What-
Porcher says 8 Eastern is dinner time out west, but Keith, 10 o'clock is bedtime out east.
How about 9 o'clock Eastern?
Tell us all what you think about 9 o'clock Eastern. I'm willing to do 9 o'clock Eastern. Any earlier than that, it's just not nightcap. It's not. I'm just telling you.
Yeah,
Nah.
okay. It's tough to argue with that point.
Not
But
nightcap.
A.S. Lanford,
Um,
he says earlier is better.
all right. Well, maybe we'll do
Whoever
an hour earlier
that
next week
is.
and see what
Even
happens.
9:30 could make a big difference.
And
Well, if he
Eric
wants
says
to.
Wednesday because Thursday is football now. He's got a point.
True.
There is value there. It's well done, Eric, even with your Yankee symbol. It's well done.
All right. Joel Peterson has a comment.
Let's hear it.
Doing county research over the last few days really has me understanding why so many land investors are out west. The land is generally cheaper,
Yeah.
parcels are more uniform, and
Yes.
lots are much easier to price. And I would add one more thing. The
Do it.
the market is just absolutely massive. It's massive.
Yeah.
It's massive out west. I'm not stumbling over Matt Forbes out west. I'm not stumbling over Mike Zano out west. Pick my area. I'm going to do deals there. But
Yeah,
that was
pretty much.
that was a great summary, Joel. I mean, and it okay. So and why else, Mike Zano? Talk more about why West is best.
Well, he went over the abundance. There's an overabundance of land, the low foxy proxy taxes. Um, it's usually fewer restrictions because you go out in these areas in the middle of nowhere and you can do whatever you want, and people love to do whatever they want. Let's face it. Matt talked about doing whatever he wanted earlier in the show relative to taxes. So we all want to do whatever we want. So I think out west is best for all of that.
There is one huge, ginormous reason. Come to Boston. Look
Yeah.
at the streets.
Yeah.
How do they look? They all uniform? Is it easy to get around? No. It's a disaster. One ways going in every direction with bends and it's a disaster.
They're all horse
Just
trails. That's why.
like properties in New England. There's no uniformity to it. You could never go price it. I can go out west and find 3,000 5-acre properties, spend 2 hours and price all of them.
Yeah.
And that's a huge, huge difference. That's why you go west. All those other reasons too. But I want to be able to find a subdivision, drill down, and I want to be able to price a bunch of land at the same time and then get those offers in the mail. Key.
And you can do it in under 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Only if you subscribe to TikTok and watch that video. Dan Foley has a question. What do you use to scrape Zillow data? So are you guys scraping Zillow data?
Oh.
No.
It's a heavy scraper.
What, heavy scraper? Scraper.
It's a heavy scraper.
Scraper.
No, we're not
It's a
scraping
scraper.
Zillow.
What are we hold on, why are we scraping Zillow? That's my first question.
I don't know. I may use Zillow for a comp here and there, but I'm not using it for scraping purposes.
County research, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then Web Harvey.
Is that what yeah. Oh, I think
I
of scraping. I mean, the gathering information where you can then use it for a mailing or something.
Oh, no. Now, if you're doing county research, you could look at like Web Harvey to do some scraping. It's pretty easy. Even I can use it, but I haven't used it in a year. If you are trying to do this niche the way that it's described by these two yokels, then I would say if you're looking at Zillow and you're web scraping, you're going down the wrong path. That'd be my advice.
Well,
I don't know who that was.
Zillow also is a broker tool, right? So typically, I mean, there are some vacant land listings on Zillow, but typically the land listings on Zillow are a lot more expensive. Why are you shaking your head at me?
Because they're wrong. They're not. That's not the model. That's somebody else's model. That's not the model.
I get you. I hear you. Why are you yelling at me?
Because
Jesus.
I want to like tell whoever this person is with Zillow that like you need to stop what you're doing and go read the toolkit or something, because you're thinking about this the wrong way. That's all. Those are other models, right, for what you're looking to do, right? Go west, find a subdivision, find 100 or whatever,
I think
1,000 or 500, price it and go.
yeah.
And
Like
price it on the right sites. Price it on the lands, price it on Landmodo. You know, go on Craigslist, look at Facebook, look at what everybody else is selling it for. That's the real version of this. Zillow is going to have a couple of people who do this, but they don't do it this way. They sell retail. They're agents, and they're going to list it with the MLS. It's going to get picked up by Zillow, and you're going to have a false sense of what this stuff really is. That's my concern.
I like it.
Boxy.
I mean,
Jeez.
buying all real estate 25 cents on the dollar is going to be great. It's just we tend to do things that move quicker.
Yeah.
Volume.
Now I will say this about Zillow. I'm
Like
frustrated because I sold a ton of land on Zillow last year, so I wasn't using it on the front end of the business for finding data or scraping or compiling a list or whatever. But I was using it for selling, and I had some good success there for a while. And then what
Okay.
I've learned in the last couple months is that what's that?
No, just keep going. I'm going to go on Zillow right now and look
Well,
at an
in the
area
last
that
couple
I know
months,
for sure.
there's been a big shutdown on for sale by owner listings on Zillow because it is a broker tool. Okay, so this week or this year we got thrown off Zillow. I can't post on Zillow anymore unless I use a MLS listing agent, something like that.
Yeah, they're
So
a pain.
yeah,
I
well
sold
they
a
can
couple
be.
with those.
Ken Green is here.
What up, Ken?
Ken Green again with the Cliff Notes version of what Matt and Mike
Hold on,
said. Make the money, pay the taxes. It's a good problem to have.
Hell
Very
yeah.
true.
Here's the problem. I'm looking at like America's favorite county, and somebody's posting stuff for 100,000 and 119, and a different one
Those are homes.
for 119.
Those have to be homes. Use your
It's just a
filter
mess.
for vacant land.
It's
Look at
always
vacant.
land.
No.
Control yourself. 7 acres for $69,000. 7 acres for $12,000. You go on Zillow, you're going to get a bunch of false positives. If you don't know what you're doing, it's going to hurt you.
Yes.
Don't go do that. If you know what you're doing, it's fine. You can weed through the BS pretty quick. But if you don't and you're new, it will hurt you. Go to the lands, go to the other land geek people who are out there doing it. You'll get a much more solidified pricing structure that works because they're all doing it. Sorry.
Good point. Proxy, good point.
Drop the mic, Matt Forbes.
Hey, bud.
Drop the mic. Yeah, this is what happens when Matt Forbes doesn't drink. He gets angry.
I'm not angry. I'm trying to help whoever that person was. I don't want to
Angry
see them
Matt
fail
Forbes.
and go, huh?
Angry Matt Forbes.
I'm not angry. I don't. There's so much bad information out there about how to do this, right? That's just bad. And I don't know where her person saw Zillow, and I don't want people to think that since we're talking about Zillow, I don't want people to think that that's a good resource. That's all.
It's not a good resource for what we do in the land geek community. We focus on the smaller dollar deals, right?
Yeah.
It's where the money is for us. We love selling land for 100 down, 100 a month. We love those deals.
Yeah.
Dollar bill, y'all.
Dollar bill, y'all.
We love those deals, Dan Foley. We love them. When you get to 100 or 200 of those deals, it's pretty awesome. Craig Vantine, does it take a ton of time to get the liquidity to keep buying and then cash flowing off of notes?
That's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's gonna be a little different with that situation and what, what they come to with capital and so on and so forth. But no, I don't think it takes that long. There's
Well,
always a percent they're gonna sell cash, and we want to have our money back in 10 months if we're following the model. So yeah, I mean, at a certain point, you'll be producing enough.
but I think so. You can be smart about this, right? Uh, you can wholesale property. You can sell notes. You can you're going to get your cash deals. You're going to get your terms deals. So I mean, Craig, we should talk. We have people going through our flight school program. Matt Forbes, we have people going through our flight school program doing between 30 and 100 deals after flight school.
That's
Craziness.
crazy.
Those people are, I guarantee you, those people are making money after their first year, right?
Yeah, you definitely do. But understand it's a cash intensive business. If you think you're going to go
sure.
and buy a bunch of land cheap and sell it on terms and just keep buying land and selling it on terms, like you're going to run out of cash pretty quick unless you have a boatload of cash. So you need to wholesale stuff. You need to flip it for cash. You need to dump it and get your cash back and do it again. You need to get investors. It's a whole thing. You will eventually be good to go be buying property with the money you're making and let it feed on itself. But you need to be probably either a more active participant in the raising of cash in the beginning, or be super cool with, going slower. And both of those are fine, right? I mean, we know, Scott, people who flip, not flip, but they, sell a property, a month or every other month. And it's like, it's just spending money and that's all they need. They're good. Like, that's fine.
Right.
And then we know, idiots like me who are like, it's never enough. It's never going to be enough. I want to own all the land.
All of America.
That's it. I want 9 million notes. So yeah, it's, but it is cash intensive.
The other thing is, like, I've talked about this many times, but like Mark Podolsky told me very early on, Mark Podolsky, the land geek, like this guy's done 6,000 deals. He's an expert. He's an expert in all areas of life, not just land. The guy's brilliant. He's an authentic person. There's so much money out there. You can find the money. I've used family.
Yeah.
I've used family money. I've used bank money. I've used a lending company, right? Forbes, I told you this. 3 years into my business, I had established that we had a business that was making money. You can find a small business loan for very low interest, and man, you can get a ton of money. And what do you do with that? What do you do with a ton of money for cheap? You buy a lot of land, and that was a needle mover in my business for sure. So there's all sorts of ways to make this work.
Control the deal, and then funding will come.
For sure.
Yes, it's just part of it. Like, and don't be scared. There's plenty of money out there. There's plenty of ways to do this. It's only a hurdle in your mind if you think it is. It's really not. It's not a true hurdle.
Right.
There's lots of people in the community, frankly, that, have made a ton of money who are wealthy coming into it. And they're looking for a place. They're looking for people to partner up with. I got 1 million partner deals because I don't have a lot of cash, or I didn't when I started. I haven't done a partner deal in a while, but
the options are out there.
Who's all above the partner deals now?
Who's that?
Well, he only partnered with you anyway, Bossman.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. He's calling me all the time. Now he never calls. He never calls. He never writes. He never boxes.
That secret boxer chat. Oh,
never boxes.
That special deal we're doing.
No.
I bought a bunch of wholesale stuff. I have land arb from you.
I'm telling you, 2 years ago.
A joint venture.
I saw your payment come through for $500 the other day. Stick it, man. And then you little jerk. We partnered on some deals. I'm making you money.
You still
All
buying
right.
something from us?
What's that?
You still have something from us?
Yeah, I bought a 5 deal thing, and I that are land art,
Where is that?
Texas.
Let me guess. I was
Oh,
gonna
that's
say
right,
Texas.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Texas.
Yeah.
I have a short
Um,
memory.
Foxy Proxy.
Matt Forbes, you gotta bring your drone out there.
I
Um,
love it. That
They
was
already
fun.
fake camped out there once.
Bought
yeah,
a
right.
fake? I almost
I
died
think
out
Bought a
there.
tent that he couldn't even fit his whole body in.
That was the smallest tent.
The coyotes would shoot him off at the ankles.
That I returned.
Woke up with no legs.
I want my
'cause
40
you
bucks
put him in the
back.
tent.
I don't know why James Simmons says Scott Bosman was in the Odyssey. Remember I was talking about the Odyssey earlier? He said I was in the
Yep.
Odyssey. Does
Wait,
that
is
mean
that
I'm
the one
old?
with the guys hanging from the ceiling and they're opening up the? Is that the Odyssey?
No.
Oh, this
I,
is Poseidon Adventure. You ever see the
I
Poseidon Adventure? Anybody?
I don't know. It
Yeah.
sounds like Indiana Jones to
At
me.
the very end, what's
I
his
don't
name?
know.
Gene Hackman, is it? Or
Yeah.
and he's
Hackman was
hanging.
inside Adventure. Yeah.
He's the priest and he's giving the speech.
Yeah.
Great movie. You haven't seen that, Bosman? The Poseidon
I,
Adventure?
That's a
long,
good
long
one.
time
Yeah, the
ago.
original one's good. They made a new one with
Did
like
they?
Kurt Russell like a decade
Of
ago.
course, it was Kurt Russell.
That guy's awesome.
So, oh, wait, hold on. So, but I don't know how to pronounce that.
Berserk?
Is it Berserk? Okay. Goes, I like how they sell so much land they can't keep track of it anymore. LOL. The struggle is real, man. Okay, we're talking hundreds of properties. It's not our fault. I mean, you can't keep track of, 90, 100 notes with it with another. You're buying 10, you're wholesaling these, you're you're selling those for cash. Like, it's a great problem. Don't get me wrong. And I get your humor because I think I used to make fun of these two idiots with the same thing, but at this point I can't keep it
Maybe
all
you
straight
joined the
either.
club.
Yeah, it's a if somebody had said, oh, it's a good problem to have, that's a great problem to have. You get so many notes, like, and somebody else is taking care of it. Like, I don't even know. Send me an email if we sell something. Send me an email if somebody defaults. Send me an email if you got a problem. Other than that, have a great day.
I love it. Rodney Haley, what is the best way to convert Facebook inquiries to buyer leads? Do you point them to your
Ooh,
website or
no,
No,
Landmodo,
no,
Landflip? What do you
no.
do?
You engage them first and foremost. Don't go for the kill right away. Engage them, and then after you get that connection, get them on the phone and sell them the property.
yeah, on the phone,
How do you make money on the internet?
on the phone.
On the phone.
Now you do sound like Mark Podolsky, but it's true, right? You got to get that relationship to a point where you can have a conversation with them and then take the credit card. Sounds crazy, but happens all the time.
Try to get a little creative. Is it available? Why? Actually, it is, but there's a number of people interested. Is there any specific questions you have? Would like to talk about on the phone? Like, just
Yes.
you just gotta get creative. I think if you start to do, I do think as a side note, if you start to really like copy paste, I think they might. That is part of the algorithm, I believe. I think you're a bot, and so be careful of that.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't copy paste. You gotta you physically have to write stuff in, but the phone. I mean, not everybody. You can sell stuff on chat,
Yeah.
right? Happens all the time, but the majority of your Facebook leads that will eventually buy, if you're doing it right, in my opinion, will come from the phone.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Another tool I love on Facebook is, I mean, and my sales guy does this now, and I'll do it occasionally, is this is why I'm so good at TikTok. You hold the phone up in front of you, and you take a video message, and you send them a message. For
Yeah,
those
love it.
people, Matt Forbes, that don't want to get on the phone,
Mhm.
it actually it works quite well. I mean, they can
Yeah.
see that you're
Love it.
a real.
Convey something. Yep.
You can convey your authenticity. You can,
Yep.
you can convey your excitement in the property. But I think what's important, Rodney, is you need to jump on those leads in a timely manner. Try to get them on the phone. If you can't get them on the phone,
Yeah, they do have a life expectancy.
yeah,
It's
text
short.
message is good.
Like a half-life, is that what you'd say? Like,
Yeah, it's a half-life,
Yeah.
and it's a short half-life. If you're gonna get real about this business, it's a short half-life.
'cause if you're too long, they're gonna say, "Oh yeah, thank you, I already bought something." That's true.
Or not that interested, or they saw your ad, and at that one moment, they were like, "Wow, that's cool. I want to learn more," and then that moment is gone.
Right.
Right.
And the further you get away from that moment, the more they don't really care.
A moment like this. Sing it, please.
Oh God,
A
no.
moment like this. Some
Are you
people
singing?
wait a lifetime.
No.
Come
Are
on.
you're really singing Shania Twain right now,
That's not
dude?
Shania Twain. A moment like this, is it? I thought it was Whitney Houston. Am I wrong?
Oh, I thought it was the other girl.
Anybody out there? A moment like
Pretty
this.
sure it's
Kelly
Shania Twain.
Clarkson? Certainly not Kelly Clarkson.
No,
A moment like this.
Whitney Houston. I'm gonna look it up.
It's not
Shania-
Kelly Clarkson though, right?
No,
Maybe when she won, she sang that.
that's Shania Twain, dude.
That's Leona Lewis, sung by Kelly Clarkson.
James Simmons says Lady Gaga.
Jesus.
I
Lady
like what you're
Gaga.
thinking. I saw
No.
her live in concert. She's one of my
You like
favorites.
Lady Gaga. Do you know that we have so many questions tonight, I can't even get through them all. That's exciting. I don't know what it is.
A moment like this is the debut single by American singer Kelly Clarkson.
No,
There must be a moment like this.
I think there is.
I'm gonna go on mute. I'll be back.
All right.
I feel bad leaving all these questions unanswered. Do we keep going?
Well, we have working lunch. We have next week. We want people to listen. We're all about bringing. If you commit to your own success, we're going to commit to help you. You start working in the toolkit, you're going to have access to our working lunch every week, 2 to 3 Eastern Standard Time, right on Zoom. You come right in there, ask anything you want. And then, if you want to go to flight school, you're going to get unlimited Voxer support from us on top of that. We're going to keep layering support there. So we're here to do that. All right,
It's really Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah.
All right.
This song,
but it's like super.
This.
You know what? You're thinking of like the Hallmark. It's like the Hallmark commercial song. I'm telling you, it's like the jingle. That's what you're thinking of.
Maybe.
That doesn't at all look like Kelly Clarkson.
Won American Idol like 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
Did she win it?
Jeremy Peer.
I think number one
I missed
American Idol.
I missed Jeremy Peer's question. All right, Jeremy Peer, since you're so awesome, I'm gonna go back and we're gonna answer your question. Man, there's a lot of comments, a lot of questions.
Well, let's go. What do
Here we go.
Let's go rapid fire.
Have any? Well, we can rapid fire. We're gonna have to rapid fire for the next 15 minutes. Have any of you rezoned a lot to be a larger size, like 4 half-acre lots into a 2-acre lot?
No.
I know where you're talking,
sold
Jeremy.
them all together.
Sell them together. Next.
Sell them together. Let the buyer worry about the rezoning. As long as you know it's possible.
Yes, you don't have to rezone if you.
Listen, this is rapid fire. You're going way too in depth for rapid fire. Next.
Okay, sorry.
How
do you get money from your note? Say you want to buy an investment property. How do you use them to cover the down payment?
Sell the note. Next.
TLfolio.com. They'll buy your note. And
what's up? You can sell notes? Holy crap. Yes, you can. Next.
TLfolio.com. What would be the perfect mix of buying and selling and then holding notes in order to not run out of cash where you can't buy anything new?
That's very specific to your situation, depending on how much capital you have available. I don't sell notes. So because I have the capital now to do that, right? So it's all dependent. In the beginning, you might be selling more notes, but after a while, I think the note selling will stop, and you won't need to do that anymore.
I never sold a note. You don't have to. It's a great way to raise a little bit of money.
But you can hold a note.
What's up? What? It's If you need cash, you wholesale something so that you can go buy something
What's
else.
that
You double
commercial?
your
1-800
money,
Cash now.
and that's it. I mean, literally, you can wholesale something in 5 minutes. So if you're like, oh crap, I need to go buy that property, you go wholesale something, you double your money on that one, you get enough money to then go buy the next property, and you keep going. So there's no formula like that. It's how much cash did you start with, and how is it going? But
Yeah.
know that those levers are there in the business to go make those decisions, and you just
There
keep
wasn't a lot
going.
of note selling when I was first doing it, but I can't say that I didn't go to people and say, "Hey, you owe me $8,000. Would you like that property for 6 if we
Sure.
get done?" And I generated cash that way. I mean,
Yep. Yeah. End of year discount. Yeah. I'll take 2,000 off if you pay it off right now. Sometimes they say yes. Next.
Love it. 10 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m.
Yeah,
Eastern,
baby.
10 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, 10 is dumb.
Just give me a good warning. 9, 9. So we have 3 9s and 3 10s. 10,
I hear a 9:30. I hear a 9:30.
9.
All right.
Uh,
Let's try it. Just
he's
try it. See what
John
happens.
Zeke has a Ferrari channel that does a live show on Thursday, so the later the better. A Ferrari channel, John Zeke. I want to
I'm gonna be
watch.
competing with Ferrari.
First of all, they don't even let fat people in those cars, so I can't support this Ferrari nonsense.
All right, here's the next one.
Rapid
Rapid fire. Out west, any places better or worse? I know Colorado is one of the hottest, but from us in the east, where do you start?
Look on Landmodo and see everybody else is working. Mirror the areas. Follow the breadcrumbs. Next.
Yep. That.
James Simmons, I stopped comparing what everyone else is doing, and he went with his gut. Ken Green, recipe has been made for the 5-star reference. 5-star restaurant, don't reinvent. Greg
Ken
Mushin.
Green. Aw.
Greg, what is America's favorite county?
Starts with a C and ends with an A.
Yeah, we're all gonna say it.
It's in Colorado. No, solve it. Next.
Zillow is good bathroom reading. How much do I really need to start with to be effective and have a 20 to 30 portfolio, 20 to 30 in inventory? How much do I need to start with? Mike Zano. Yeah, how much money?
I started negative 40 grand. I just bootstrapped it. I don't know, 5 grand, it'll be more than enough. I would have killed for 5 grand to start with. I wouldn't have killed. I'm sorry.
It's all mindset.
That's just a expression. I hope you all know that.
If you're not hungry, you need like 20 or 30,000. If you all want this, 5 grand. If you need it because you're in the hole and the world is going to end and you need it and you're going to go do anything for it, $0. So just where are you?
Rapid fire next.
Craig, this was a long time ago. I did 30 deals my first year. 10 deals were cash deals, anywhere from 3 to 5 grand in profit each deal. The rest were terms deals. I started with 10,000.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Craig says you'll be in flight school in the first to second quarter of next year. Craig, we can't wait. We can get you in sooner. November 9th. November 9th is the next one. Ken Green, money will find you all the time. John Zeke, drive Uber, deliver Uber Eats, Google side hustles. Let's see. And then we just got comments. Joseph Abusi's here. Joseph, nice to see you.
Yeah, what up? What's up, Joe?
Let's see. Any other questions? A lot of comments. I love it. Are there scammers that you need to look out for? Like bogus land buyers that try to send you a check and they want you to send the money back. Scammers? Have you seen it happen?
Oh, that happens in everyday life. Never mind a land business.
That happened to Handsome Rob 2 weeks ago. Somebody sent a random check to his bank. The bank called him and they're like, "What's this?" He's like, "It's a scam," and that was the end of it. Yeah, that happens. Use your head. That's all.
Doesn't happen often.
Use an ounce of common sense.
People are doing that in all areas of life. Not.
Yeah. I also got called about my IRS late bill. Like, what are you gonna do? Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Eric Dempsey, when can we do a call? Eric Dempsey, go to thelandgeek.com and go to the book a call icon. And Mike Zano and I can have a call with you soon. We can talk
But you
strategy.
have to renounce the evil empire.
Right.
What?
We're to the
Say
end.
that.
Oh, we're to
Just
the end of
kidding.
the comments and questions.
Oh, good. We did it.
Well, thank
We
you,
did it.
everybody.
Does that mean
Thank-
that we could do Nightcap in about 8 minutes if we just hustled next week, starting
Yeah,
at
maybe.
9 a.m.
I mean-
9 p.m. Eastern?
Wouldn't be as fun, would it? Come on.
No, it wouldn't be. That's true.
It was fun, fellas. Thank
Peace out.
you. Thank you, everyone, for coming. It's very exciting. Dates to remember. Remember,
Remember,
October 22nd through the 24th, Land Geek
Boot
virtual boot camp. 3 days on Zoom. Come in your jammies. You get to learn a lot. You'll learn a ton about land investing, and it will motivate you to take action in this business to change your life. And then November 9th is the next flight school with Scott Todd. We just started a flight school last night.
John.
What's so funny?
He writes normal guy supercar ... I watch. Like, dude, I get it. If I wasn't like a giant ogre, I'd be all into it too, man. But
An ogre.
I fit in like a truck. So what are you gonna do?
Sorry, I'm gonna have one more nightcap before nighttime, before bedtime. You guys.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I know.
see you all next week.
I don't have to be up at 5. We'll talk to you later.
That hurts. It cuts
Love you,
deep,
Forbes.
doesn't it?
Here's his question. This is a good question for you, Mike Zano. What are the steps I should take if I'm buying my first property from a wholesaler? Any specific steps I should take? I'm new to the toolkit. That's a great question.
So treat the wholesale deal as an accepted offer. What do I mean by that? Still do your due diligence. Don't just say, hey, this is not a land investor. I'm good to go. Treat it like an accepted offer. Make sure you do your own due diligence. Make sure you double check the comps. And that's number one. I think the first thing I would say to that, Scott, is treat it like it's an accepted offer and work from there. As I hear you cracking the beer.
I'm switching from whiskey to beer. Yes, I mean,
what would you say?
So, I think there might be a tendency to be very trustworthy of someone in our Land Geek group. Now, that could be good and bad, right? So I think what Mike says, I think you need to stay true to your principles, the principles within your business, and treat it like an accepted offer. Do your due diligence, because you may find in your due diligence, we just talked about this, Mike, on the roundtable this week. We talked about wholesaling and how some people in the community think that there are some really aggressive wholesale prices out there right now. And I would agree. I think I see that sometimes.
Retail wholesale?
Retail wholesale, yeah. But what it comes down to is you really need to analyze what the market is doing right now. And, your pricing from 3-4 months ago, 6 to 12 months ago, your idea of the price in an area, that may have just simply changed with how aggressive the market is right now. So you need to go back in, do exactly like you said, treat this like an accepted offer, find some recent comps, like really recent comps within the last month, and do not only your property due diligence. Now, they may have a due diligence report, which is nice. So Kempton, I would just ask them, do you have a due diligence report that I can see? Do you have any pictures I can see? Do your own due diligence, do your own kind of chain of title search, that type of thing.
No, that's a great point, because I don't necessarily mean to run the whole due diligence again. I think mostly
Right.
I'm meaning to do what you're saying, run the current comps.
Right. Yeah, a lot of times you don't have to do like a property report, something like that. The investor may have something for you, and it's okay to ask. A lot of people when they market their wholesale property, Mike, they'll have a link to a due diligence report, so you can go there and see all the information regarding the property and the county regs and that type of thing. So
And short of that, it's just a simple transaction where you're going to probably make a payment, approve the deed, they'll record the deed, and it's in your name.
Yeah. Question, Mike. Should he pay a doc fee?
No.
It's a
Sometimes
simple answer.
what I would do is pay a portion of it, like $100 of it, up front first, not as a doc fee, but as just a good faith payment to get the paperwork rolling, and so on and so forth. But no, typically there's not a doc fee involved. Not to say that some people might not charge one, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, I think it's a general consensus, I think, in the community not to charge a doc fee. I think to me the doc fee justifies some of the work you've done, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not hard. It's honestly not hard to sell a property wholesale.
No.
Like, you don't have to
No,
market
and the
that
doc
thing.
fee and the doc fee gets you some more money for the marketing and all that is what you're saying on a
Yeah,
traditional
it
sale.
kind of you recoup your costs, right?
Yeah.
Associated with the marketing and that type of thing. So anyway, Dave Lefebvre, I can never say his name. Dave Febre. It's like Favre. It's like Favre, Dave. He says hello.
Hello.
Kempton says so for comps, Mike. In looking at this property, he's using Lands of America and Zillow. Where else should he look for comps?
I would look on Landmodo for sure. I think Google search just the subdivision and see what you come up with because you'll find other land sellers, their websites will pop up with what they're selling it for. So I think the ones you're using, Landmodo for sure, and then get the subdivision and Google search it, land for sale, the acreage, and you'll come up with some comps.
Yeah, the other thing I would recommend, Kempton, is go to the county website and putz around on the assessor website. You'd be surprised what reports you can pull on the assessor website. A lot of these counties, you can pull sales from the last month in a particular subdivision. So that's another place to check out.
How to acquire abandoned property. You probably are familiar with the saying, finders, keepers, losers, weepers, beyond a playground taunt. Historically, that also was a fair statement of abandoned property law. If you found abandoned property, you could claim it as your own. However, the law today is a bit more complicated, as many states have enacted legislation that alters the treatment of lost or abandoned property, particularly property such as real estate or motor vehicles in which the record owner can reasonably be discovered. Acquiring abandoned real estate. Make sure it's actually abandoned. Just because a house is vacant or appears run down doesn't necessarily mean it's abandoned. The problem with taking control of an abandoned piece of real estate is that somebody does technically own it, even if they don't live in it or take care of it. Generally speaking, real estate can never be abandoned, because there will always be the name of an owner recorded on the deed for the property. But that doesn't mean that whoever owns it still wants to own it. In many cases, the owner decided selling the property was more hassle than it was worth. Find out who owns the property. The easiest way to find out who owns the property is to check your county's property tax records. You can talk to neighbors or take other steps to find out who owns the property, but property tax records are the easiest way. If real estate exists, someone is paying taxes on it, or owes taxes on it, and the county tax assessor will have that person's name and contact information. Keep in mind it's possible that the address the tax assessor has for the owner is the same as the address of the property you believe is abandoned. Another way to find the property owner is to look up the deed for the property in the county recorder's office. If any liens such as mortgages are recorded on the deed, try contacting the bank or mortgage company instead of the individual listed as property owner. Contact the record owner. Once you have a name and address of the owner of the property, attempt to get in touch with them regarding the status of the property. This may require a little detective work on your part. For example, if the only address you can find for the owner is the street address for the property you believe to be abandoned, try sending a postcard anyway. The property owner may be having his mail forwarded to a different address, so you can still reach him that way. If the property owner is actually a bank or mortgage company, you might have better luck tracking them down, especially if you make it clear you want to pay them money. Make the owner an offer. If you are able to make contact with the owner, offer to take the property off their hands. If the owner owes back taxes, you may be able to acquire the property simply by offering to pay the back taxes. However, this amount may be more substantial if the owner owed additional money on the house when he abandoned it. Make sure you conduct thorough research on the house's title to ensure you're taking title free and clear of any debts aside from those you're willing to pay. A bank that owns property due to a foreclosure probably wants to get back as much as it can. Decide how much you can afford to spend on the property, accounting for any repairs that might need to be made, and make an offer. Attempt adverse possession. If you cannot contact the owner, you can stake a claim on the property and see if you can keep it. If you openly squat on the property for a number of years, typically anywhere from 5 to 25 years or more, and the owner of record never tries to stop you, the title for the property might revert to you. In any case, this is a risky move considering the rightful owner could return at any moment and have you arrested for trespassing.
Hey, it's Mark Podolsky, the Land Geek, and here's another quick episode of Coffee Talk. Let's have a virtual cup of coffee together this morning. I'm really enjoying this Starbucks 2 Honey Americano. Let's talk about making money on our raw land. So I'm assuming you went to frontierpropertiesusa.com, you just bought your first piece of wholesale land from moi. And now you're like, well, now what do I do with it? Do I just sit with that raw land and pay taxes? No, you don't have to. You can use it any way you like for your enjoyment. I can also teach you how to flip that property as well. But let's assume that you want to hold it long term. Let's make some money on that land. So a few ideas to do this. I'm just going to run off a couple ideas. The first one is, hey, how about a paintball area, a little play area there. If you got a nice little flat piece of land and put out some signs, cordon off some of your property, get some haystacks, let's say, make a little paintball area, charge people $40 a person. After a while, that's going to add up. It's certainly going to pay for your inexpensive property taxes. How about pasturing animals? If you're in an area where there's ranchers, sure, charge them to let those animals roam on your land, eat your grass. Fantastic way to make some extra money. Don't forget about hunting rights. If you've got a property, let's say it's 40 acres, and you've got some deer on your property, why not lease it out to hunters? Camping. People love to camp, and there's never enough remote areas for them to camp. Put up a couple inexpensive camping sites, charge everyone a small fee, and after a while you're going to have a nice passive income for camping. Storage. Nobody ever has enough storage. Motorboats, horses, I don't know. It just, you've seen all these storage places all around the country, right? Why not store it on your property? Charge a monthly fee, and who knows, maybe you will be on Storage Wars yourself. So anyways, if you want to learn more tips, tricks, techniques, how to buy and sell raw land for passive income, active income, go to my site, www.thelandgeek.com. You can always click the links below as well. Listen to the podcast, Great information there. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. And of course, leave me a comment. Let me know how it's going here. What other information you'd like to learn. Anyways, thanks for having a cup of coffee with me, and I'll see you next time. Hey, it's Mark Podolsky, the Land Geek, and I want to share with you one of my favorite tips and tricks for creating amazing deal flow right into my email inbox. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to ifttt.com, and that stands for if this, then that. So you can see there's all these what they call recipes to create if this happens, then that happens. But for our purposes, for real estate and for finding deals, we're going to go down, and this is in the sort by popular, and we're going to search for Craigslist search. So we're going to click on Craigslist search, and what we're going to do is a new post from search, and if this, then that. So all we're going to do is we're going to search, and we're going to click right here, search for something on Craigslist. And what we'll do is for our purposes, let's look in real estate for sale. We'll click here. And let's say we're looking for 5 acres vacant land. Okay, in real estate for sale. And we're going to hit list view. And that's going to create a little link when we do that. I'm sorry, we're going to hit search, not list view. We're going to hit search. And that's going to create this link, which we're just going to copy. And for the Mac, it's Command C. For the PC, it's just Control C. And we're going to copy that. We're going to go back to our search. And we're going to hit either Control A or Command A. And then Command V or Control V. Copy and paste. We're going to paste that in. And then we're going to have our subject is going to be not training wheels, but 5 acres. I can't spell. 5 acres vacant land. And that'll immediately create a recipe. We're going to click use recipe. And when that happens, if somebody has a 5 acre piece of property in this area, then we're automatically going to get an email. Well, the great thing about this is that I have a VA, and her job is to literally go to all the counties where I like to buy property and create if this, then that searches, then scrub for me. That goes to my email, but then she accesses it and then sends to me at my business email, the one that I want to look at, the deals that we can go ahead and make offers on. So I hope you like that tip, ifttt.com. And if you want to learn more tips and tricks, please go to www.thelandgeek.com and download the Passive Income Investors Blueprint. Hey, thanks for listening. This is Mark Podolsky, the Land Geek. I'm out.
So today is Sales Scenario Thursday, and I thought that we could talk about the SST. Yeah, I thought we could talk about creating urgency for buyers. When you have a buyer on the hook, what are a few ways to create urgency to get them to put that down payment on the card, the CAD, while you're on the phone with them, or in the Facebook chat or email or whatever. So if any of the audience has suggestions regarding how to create urgency, please throw them in the chat. Fellas, Mike Zano, how do you create urgency?
Well, I'm going to go the devil's advocate in the other direction for a second here.
Oh boy.
Why do you got to do that to me?
Just because. It's part of the same topic. I think, look at.
By answering this question, I'm going to talk about something completely different.
No, it's not something different.
Thanks for bringing the topic, Scott Bossman.
Matt, do you try to convince people to sell you their property?
it can't be done.
True.
So do you try to convince people to buy your property?
I really try hard not to.
Because to me, it's a matter of, to me, ultimately, there are some persuasive techniques, and we can talk about those for sure. That if someone is right there ready to buy and they're having maybe a lack of confidence in you, they feel like maybe they're not 100% sure it's an online transaction. But if it's someone who's truly not, if someone's just sort of looking and they're not sure, I believe in heavy marketing and bringing the next buyer, the one that's really going to buy it, rather than wasting time on the one who's not. So, but again, there are times where there are people, right? Honestly, and we can talk about this too, they really want it, but they're just a little bit unsure about, who you are and are you legit? And there's ways you can do that as well. But to start the conversation off, I'd say that if someone's truly not really interested, you really don't want to convince them. You don't want to push them. So I think that's the far end of the spectrum, though. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Multiple marketing channels bring multiple potential buyers, and one of them will buy your property.
Okay. All right. So Zeno, but I'm a gentleman on the phone, right?
Okay. Speak to me.
Gentlemen.
And I'm very interested in this property, right?
Yes.
But listen,
Yes, sir.
I got to talk to my wife first. Wait, I have to go out and see the property next week. But I'm
Yes.
really interested in this property. It has everything I'm looking for. Can I camp on the land? Check. Can I hunt on the land? Check. Are there restrictions? No. I can build whatever I want? Yes.
Yes.
So listen.
So you love the property.
But so in that instance, you're talking to a guy that on paper, he loves the property. He loves every Google
Take
Earth,
away the risk.
every Google Earth overlay image that you have presented to him. He loves the back taxes. He loves the location. He loves everything. How do you create urgency for that guy? Because you want him to buy.
He wants it, but you take away the risk. You let him know the very true reality is that there are people that will buy this property sight unseen. I know you want to go see the property, but that's why we offer you a money back guarantee. We'll hold the property for you, but you got to show us you're serious. Documentation fee or whatever it might be. You could have a $99 doc fee. Pay that doc fee. We'll hold the property for 3, 4, 5 days, whatever it is. That way you don't go out there, you don't fall in love with the property, and somebody else who is just, ready to buy doesn't just click right when you're making the phone call to me to say, Mike, we love it. Someone else is pressing ka-ching, buy, and they buy the property, and now you don't get it. I'd hate to see that happen to you. I've seen it happen to other people just like you. So why not take the risk-free option? Secure the property, go look at it. If you don't love it, I'll refund you.
Nice. I love the refund, right?
I don't love it, but it's a good tactic.
I mean, I don't love refunding. It's a good tactic, but like I'm on Mike's side of this, right? There's a lot of people. You can waste a lot of time talking to a lot of people who are the perfect fit on paper, right? Who is calling me at work at 10:50 at night?
You are popular.
I mean, honestly, people, like, go get your Connect and Sell somewhere else. Yeah, I'm a sales guy. I answer the phone. But I'm definitely on the side of, like, if you're a good buyer, isn't just a good buyer on paper. I mean, they are somebody who is willing to pull the trigger. I'm fine with saying we have a money back guarantee. I'm fine with all of that, right? But at a certain point, I'm not going to chase you. If you want to go look at the property, I'll work with you. Give me $100 down. I'll refund it. I'll let you have 48 hours. Like, I'll make something up that does take away all that risk. But at the end of the day, it's not that hard to sell property right now. And I got 100 people lined up behind you. It is what it is. So, 2 years ago when I was pretty new, I'd give you 3 weeks to go look at the property in hopes maybe God you buy one. Now I'm unlikely to give you really any concessions because the stuff is selling. It's like the market's in my favor, not yours, right? So, I mean, what we want to work with people, and sometimes that's just a lot of conversations to build that trust, but you need to be careful that you don't tie up properties for somebody who's a tire kicker, but he sounds good and looks good on paper, right? When somebody else is going to come along and you're going to go, yeah, that's tied up. And they're like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go to Matt Forbes' site and I'm going to go buy his because I'm ready right now. So there's some give and take there.
I mean, you said it right there, Forbes. It seems to be a seller's market right now, right? And
It is.
that is an urgency at its base right there. I mean, how many conversations does our team have with potential buyers who, we just had one earlier today. He wants to go see the property in 3 weeks. Listen, how the property's flying off the shelves right now, there's no guarantee that thing's going to be here in 3 weeks. Like, it's just a matter of numbers. It's a matter of It's a matter of frequency. These things are selling quick right now. It's not going to be there in 3 weeks. I'm
super passive about those guys. I'm like, hey, that sounds really, really good.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold it for you. Just give me a call before you go out.
Exactly.
Just to make sure that it's not sold.
Yeah.
All right. No problem. But like, honestly, between you and I have a decent chance of selling this in the next 3 weeks. So like, it's all good. Right. And it's not going to stop you from going out this way. When we have another property, it would make sense for you, but I have properties where I have a list of people who they know when I call, either they take out their credit card or I go to the next person on the list. Like, they want a very specific thing that I usually have that I don't have right now. Like, that's that kind of a market. So yeah, no, I'm not going to mess around with somebody who's, not sure about buying something on the internet. Like, I'll do your best to make you feel good, but at a certain point, bye-bye.
I think that's a great topic for next week. Buying on the internet. And
yeah, it's a tough one, right? You got to get over that.
How to put your buyers at ease. I love it. Quick story about a guy I had on the hook in urgency. So I don't buy many properties in Wisconsin, but I came across an opportunity, so I did it. I'll throw it out there. Talking to a gentleman from New York, he's like, "Yeah, I'm really interested in that property in Wisconsin." Oh, well, I'm getting like literally 20 leads a day on this thing. I'm like, dude, I can't promise you it's going to be around. He's like, I really want to go visit the property. He got in his car with his wife and his 2-year-old on a Friday night, and they drove straight through to Wisconsin to see this property. I'm like, listen, I hope you really like it when you get there. Because I can't guarantee you're going to like it when you get there. And guess what? He was so excited about the property. He got there. He loved it. He bought it. And it was nuts. But you can't, my only way of conveying urgency to him was, listen, I'm getting 20 leads a day on this thing. And if you want it, drop the down payment. We have a 90-day money-back guarantee. And listen, if you want to drop the down payment and go visit the property, awesome. He's like, no, I'm going to wait. I'm going to go visit the property first, and then I'll put the down payment on. Okay. Anyway, interesting story.
No problem. Yeah, I get that. I had a super nice older couple, very timid about buying something over the internet. It took a while. And then they finally pulled the trigger, and they went out to the property, and they didn't like it. And I'm like, no problem. Like, my sales assistant's like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't know what to do? You know exactly what to do. Just give them their money back. Whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares? You know what they said? Keep our money. Keep our money.
Because we had a good time.
See the next one that we like that you have, we'll just apply it to that.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was like, that's really great. And then I'm like, Ann, how the hell do we do that? Like, how do we account for that? She's like, I have no idea. And I'm like, oh God, here we go. Like, we
how
got
do we
money.
account for that?
I don't know what to do with it. Like, it's just like, oh my God. Like, I'm waiting for them to be like, well, we gave you our down payment, and have somebody be like, what are you talking about? And then we have to like remember, one of those weird ones. But yeah, that happens.
That's funny. People love adventure, right? Like, we've had people before. I've offered them, hey, when you're out there, I would love some pictures of these couple properties you're taking a look at. I'll give you $50.
I've done that.
And they email back and they're like, Or they text back and they're like, you know what? We didn't like the property, but we had an amazing time. No need to pay us. Okay.
I had a guy in Apache. I never worked in Apache, and he's like, I think I want to, I think I want to buy that property, and I'm like, cool. This was super early on, right? And he's like, I'll drive out there, and I'm like, could you take pictures? I'm like, I'll pay you, or I'll take it off part of the down payment, like whatever. Like I'll give you money for it. He's like, oh, okay. And so we think it's just like regular Apache. We don't really know much about the area. This is sort of that we've never had pictures taken or anything out there. He's like, oh my God, it's next to a well and it has access to the well. And I've seen this stuff before. And he spent 45 minutes educating me on Apache. This guy knew everything. He lived like an hour away. He knew everything and then wouldn't take my money for the photos or the video he did. It was like,
Yeah,
he
that's
just
amazing.
likes talking about dirt. And he knew a hell of a lot more about it than I did.
Hmm.